My name is Sharon Malora. I'm going to try to talk to you all without crying because my property is 3305 Grace Court, which is directly adjacent to Patterson Drive. The proposed of this rezone puts a road in directly behind my house and takes a portion of my house. And it was determined today that this was a private road, not a county-maintained road. The plan was designed to take this portion without my permission. Nobody has approached me. I feel like I have not been given proper notification to talk against any of these issues. I received this letter for this meeting this month. I was not informed of planning commission meetings. I don't understand how a 76-acre lot, which has so much room to have potential to do great things, can plan something to take somebody like me, my property, basically. I'm a single parent. I worked very hard to buy my first home. I have a little over a half of an acre. They have 76 acres. Why are they taking my property? My property will also be impacted by the expansion of Highway 49, that intersection, the 60-foot on each side. I have a 50-foot easement, but that will expand the road. I think it said from 36 to 50 feet plus an additional 60-foot right-of-way. So not only is my property impacted on the Highway 49, or on the Pleasant Valley Road side.
You're doing fine.
I'm sorry.
All right.
But also in the back. So I'm going to have a detrimental effect to my property and my privacy, and I don't think it's right for these developers to come in and take that away from me. You know, Mr. Sweeney, you're my representative, and I want to know if you guys are going to allow these people to take my property, basically. Sharon Malore. I reside directly across from the Patterson intersection, the three-way stop sign. Yes, that's my corner lot. I don't know who the previous owner was, but I believe that's who's listed on the map there.
Stephen and Andrea Carey.
Right. And I purchased the property December 28th of 2007.
They can't, county?
Well, if there's a 50-foot easement.
But that's on Pleasant Valley Road. That's not behind me. Behind me is private property. They can't take my property for the use of their own private property, bottom line.
Huh. Okay, maybe you can write that down and try to answer that.
So I would strongly urge you to not consider this rezone and consider something like the gentleman earlier suggested, a park, anything, because of the detrimental effect it will have on my property. Thank you. I did have pictures. I'm sorry. Can I? I've never spoken at one of these before.
Did you just testify that this is the first time?
I have this letter. In 2009, I was given a notification of the expansion of the intersection. Harrington Park I have not received notifications of the Harrington Park information.
I find that.
I received this letter right here.
How long do you own that parcel?
Since 2007.
Huh. The only thing staff will have to address that.
Absolutely. Nowhere ever in this notice, nobody's ever come and talked to me saying they're going to take a portion of my property. Nothing.
I can understand your concern.
Very concerned. I worked hard for my property. I really did.
Alrighty. Thank you very much. Staff, if you can make a note of that, please. All right.
If it were not for this right-of-way problem, I would right now move approval. But I cannot sit here today, and as much as I don't want to stop it, because it's been in the loop too long. But I think we need to take 2 weeks or 3 weeks and see what the applicant can do with the neighbor about this right-of-way problem. If not, then I think we have to go back to what the applicant had designed before, as I understand. I've read about 70 pages from DOT about how we got here. And it was an offset intersection. And it's the county that wants this intersection, not the applicant. I'd like to try and get this four-way intersection. I think it's a very important thing for the public, because it's gonna take weight off of the intersection of, the intersection up by the PG&E office.
Absolutely.
This is gonna be a great boon to get people where they need to go, instead of them pulling out onto Missouri Flat Road and then coming down to Pleasant Valley and making a right-hand turn. They'll tend to come down this road, and I think it's the kind of intersection that's appropriate. And so I'd like to take 3 weeks and work on it.
Okay, we have is that a motion?
To continue the matter for 3 weeks?
Would you object? You won't concur, but you wouldn't object.
No.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion.
My motion is to continue 3 weeks.
And my question-
And I'm sorry,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
we're putting words in my mouth. My motion is to continue for 3 weeks and ask DOT staff to work diligently with the applicant to try and find a solution.
Okay. We have a motion and we have a second.
So I'd like to make it real clear that I agree with Supervisor Sweeney. I don't like the C word, and that on its own merit would have me not voting, or otherwise having me voting for the project, because I do believe this is where it's a logical, long-storied site in terms of this is where we want commercial, it's where we want industrial. I don't like the fact that Mrs. Miller, that we would even consider the fact of condemning property. I'm sorry that you thought that.
Yeah, I would concur that actually threw me for a loop when you came up, Mrs. Miller came up and testified before the board, and that you weren't notified. You have a legally binding document from the previous owner, and you find out along with everybody else in the room what has occurred. I find that hard to believe. I believe what you say to be true, but it's hard to believe. And the real estate industry and property owners, I don't know how you solve that problem. I mean, unless I guess Supervisor Knight asked if it was recorded. And I guess you should have had that recorded early on. I don't know what the fix is here, but we need to deal with the fix. Because if
That's my motion.
yeah.
I'll call for the question.
All right, I understand.
Ms. Miller, before you leave my assistants in the back of the room, would you give her your contact information, please?
All right.
Thank you.
It's a big decision for a 3-week delay to try to solve this. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? We'll take a break.